The year, 1973. The location, 1520 Sedgwick Avenue, the Bronx. The event, the Back to School Jam Party. A little-known artist by the name of DJ Kool Herc explodes onto the scene, showcasing a musical technique he called the merry-go-round, looping the instrumental breaks of songs together on 2 turntables over and over again. And little did he know he was changing the game and giving birth to hip-hop. Pretty soon, this new type of music had taken over the neighborhood.
South Bronx was this giant soundscape that everywhere you went, music was coming out of apartments, it was coming out of grocery stores, it was coming out of clubs.
Different DJs would put their own spin on the sound, and many would go on to become legends.
When you talk about Afrika Bambaataa, Kool Herc, Grandmaster Flash, these are the 3 founding fathers of the whole culture.
The people introducing the DJs would entertain the crowds between songs by talking and joking, and soon enough, rap became a big part of hip-hop, along with breakdancing.
So you really got soul. Are you ready?
The first song I ever heard was Rapper's Delight, 1979.
Just throw your hands up in the air and party harder like you just don't care.
I was in the 7th grade. Back then we had boom boxes. I know that was for sure the first hip hop song ever played. From then on, I loved rap. When I first heard the Sugar Hill Gang, I wanted to be a rapper.
It became a big part of Black American culture, giving people from poor and disadvantaged communities an outlet to speak about important social issues.
Shed tears with my baby sister. Over the years we was poor than another little kid.
And by the 80s, hip-hop records had started to hit the US Billboard charts. Soon enough, hip-hop had spread to countries all around the world, including here in Australia, where it's had a big impact on a lot of people, including the ABC's very own hip-hop star Rulla Kelly Mansell.
Being Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander in this country, when I first heard hip-hop, I found a lot of correlation to what was happening here, or the feeling of what it was to be like, to be misunderstood because of your ethnicity or your family background or your colour of your skin. The people that have inspired me, I'm connected to them by their authenticity, to the way they say what they're saying, and why they say what they're saying.
Why do you think that hip-hop has been so impactful for youth, like kids and teenagers?
You're learning words, you're learning how to articulate, you're learning sounds, you're learning different genres of sounds to mix in. A lot of hip-hop sounds is a blend of different genres, so you're getting inspirations from a lot of jazz and soul and rock and all these beautiful pockets of music.
Of course, today, hip-hop is everywhere.
Then you're left in the dust, unless I stuck by you.
And it's kind of hard to imagine a world without it. But those who were there at the beginning say it's changed the world for the better.
Nobody involved in Bronx hip-hop made big money, but they saved lives. They gave lives meaning.